We are moving on to cell reproduction. What is reproduction? Reproduction is the process by which an individual gives rise to his young ones. So cells in the body are also reproducing, and this can involve asexual means such as binary fission. We can also budding and so on. And sexual reproduction, in this case, we talk about conjugation, because two cells that are mating, they have no physiological difference, so they are regarded as conjugation. And for us to understand reproduction properly, we have to look at how cells produce gametes, and the process of producing gametes is called gametogenesis, and that one involves meiosis, reduction, division. So let's see some questions that are based on cell reproduction. So let's see number one. Number one question says, which of these representations correctly depicts a cell with pairs of homologous chromosomes? For you to answer this question, you have to know which cells are we talking about. We are talking about a body cell that is having the pairs of chromosomes. Each of the pair bear one chromosome from the father and another chromosome from the mother. So it's having the pairs of chromosomes intact in the nucleus. So how do we represent this one biologically? We have A, N, B, 2N, C, 4N, and D, half N. Simply, we know that because we are talking of homologous chromosomes, pairs of homologous chromosomes, 2N is the answer. This is mathematical representation of a pair of homologous chromosomes. Number two, which of these cells normally reproduce by budding? And what is budding? Budding is when a cell produces a bud, and the bud now fall off and become a new cell or a new organism. So looking at the question, look at the question correctly, because the answers given: A, yeast; B, hydra; C, paramecium; D, mucor. Paramecium can conjugate, can also reproduce by binary fission. Mucor can conjugate, and it can also reproduce by producing spores. Yeast and hydra, they can reproduce through budding. Then which one is the answer? Is it yeast or hydra? We go back to the question: which of these cells? Yeast is a cell, hydra is not a cell. So answer is A. Number three, which of these methods of reproduction involves meiosis? This question is asking you which of these methods of reproduction will involve gametes production and the union of opposite gametes, because meiosis will lead to production of gametes. Now, we have A, budding. Budding is a sexual method of reproduction. Fragmentation is when a filamentous organism breaks into two or into more fragments, and each fragment becomes an individual. Then C, we're talking of conjugation. Two organisms that are physiologically alike coming together to exchange nuclear gamete or nuclear material. D, regeneration of parts, just like when you cut off a tree and the tree grows up again. That regeneration. We have planaria and so lower organisms regenerating parts that we cut off. So, to answer this question, which of these methods of reproduction involve meiosis? It must be the one that involves sexual reproduction, and that is conjugation. C. C answers the question. Number 4. If a diploid cell with 16 chromosomes undergoes meiosis, the resultant daughter cells will be having how many chromosomes? A, 32 chromosomes. B, 8 chromosomes. C, 24 chromosomes. And D, 4 chromosomes. Now, diploid, it means it's having
pairs of homologous chromosomes. And this said that having pairs of homologous chromosomes is now undergoing reduction division of producing gametes. In other words, the chromosomes that are originally in the somatic cell will now be divided, during the division, be halved. So the resultant daughter cells will have half of this number of chromosomes because they now become haploid cells, which are gametes. So with that one, you can answer the question. It can never be 32 because at 32 you multiply, you double the former chromosome. Then 8 is half of 16. So B is the answer.